Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Technology Explore. My name is Usman, and today in this video I'm going to design this sheet metal part in SolidWorks. I think this is one of the difficult part to draw in SolidWorks because of two reasons. The reason number one is to understand this complicated drawing is, I think, difficult for the beginners, and the reason number two is to add this type of you can say groove in the sheet metal part. If you want to download this PDF, then I will leave the download link in the description of this video. Start from new part in SolidWorks. Draw a sketch on front plane. First of all, I will draw the outer sketch of this part, so follow my steps. Draw a sketch which looks like this. Then start adding the dimensions in it. First of all, I will add the distance between both these lines. Both these lines are basically, by the way, they are parallel to each other. So this distance is 5.10 millimeters. Then I will add the angle between this line and this line, which is 45 degrees. Then I will add this distance, which is 4.5 millimeters. Then I will add this distance. So look closely the this drawing, and it says that the material is mild steel and it is 19 SWG, which means standard wire gauge 19, and which means that the thickness of the material is 1 millimeter. Going back to SolidWorks, there will be a bend here, so we have to make some distance, and it should be multiplied by 2 with the thickness of the material. By the way, it is not mentioned, this distance is not mentioned in the drawing anywhere, which is why I am adding this distance by common sense, and it is multiplied by 2. So thickness is 1 and it is multiplied by 2. Automatically this distance will be 2 millimeters. Similarly, this distance is also 2 millimeters. The angle between this line and this line is 45 degrees. This distance is 1 millimeter. This distance is also 2 millimeters. This distance is 6.50 millimeters. Total width of our part is 19.30 millimeters. 19.30 millimeters. Then total height of our part is 25.35 millimeters. Distance from here up to this line 15.30 millimeters. Distance from this line up to this line is also not mentioned anywhere, so which is why I am adding this distance by common sense, and I think it should be 1 millimeter. Now I am adding the radius of this arc. It is 31.75 millimeters. Now I am adding this distance, which is 2 millimeter. Then the distance from here up to this line, and it is 5 millimeters. The distance from this line up to this line is 5.5 millimeters, 5.50. Now I am going to add the distance of the center point of the arc. The center point of this arc, which is here, and it should be upside of this part. So I am going to rearrange the arc like this. So now if you can see, the center point is now upside of this line. Now I am going to add the dimension from this line up to the center point of the arc, and it is 6.20. The distance from here up to the center point of arc is 9.90 millimeters. Length of this line is 4 millimeters. From here, this line is 11.80 millimeters away. After adding all these dimensions, click this point and drag up to the origin. Our sketch is now fully defined. Now we can apply the sheet metal operation here. If your SolidWorks is not showing the sheet metal tab here, then right click here and then go to tabs, and from here select sheet metal. So in the sheet metals, click on base flange tab option. Then as mentioned in the drawing that the thickness of the material is 1 mm, so type here 1 mm, then press OK button. Next step is that we have to make some flanges here and here. So for that, click on edge flange option, then uncheck this option, use default radius, and then type here 0.5 millimeter radius, and then select this edge. Specify the direction and then scroll down and type here the length of the flange, which is 5 millimeters. Make sure you have checked this option and then this option, then press OK button. Once again click on edge flange option, then select this edge, specify this direction, and uncheck this option for default radius, type here 0.5 millimeter radius and then scroll down. The extrusion thickness for this flange is 4.20 millimeters, then press OK button. After that we have to make a 20-degree bend here. So for that, first of all we have to draw a line here. So click on this face and then sketch on it, press Ctrl+8 key for normal to view orientation, and then draw a line somewhere here. Then define the distance from this line up to this line, and it should be 0.25 millimeters. Then click this button to save and exit from sketch mode. Click on sheet metal tab and from here select sketched bend. First of all select the sketch, this sketch, and then for fixed face click on this box and then select this face. We have to add the 20-degree angle, so type here 20. Uncheck this option, use default radius and type here 0.50 millimeter radius. See the preview, then press OK button. First of all we have to make some chamfer here. So click on features tab and then click on this arrow below the fillet command and then select chamfer. Chamfer is 1 millimeter at 45 degrees, so type here 1 and then 45-degree angle. Select this edge at this edge and then press OK button. Now we have to add another chamfer here, so once again select chamfer. This time the length of the chamfer is 1.25 and angle is 45 degrees. Then select this edge and then press OK button. Now we have to make some cuts here, so select this face and then sketch on it, press Ctrl+8 key for normal to view orientation, and then draw a sketch by using line command like this. Then define the angle between both these lines, and it is 45 degree. The angle between this line and this line is 15 degree. Then we have to add a sketch fillet, so for that select sketch fillet command, and the fillet radius is 0.25 millimeter, so select this corner and this corner and then press OK button. Now add the length of only this line. If you can see in the drawing, it is specified and it is from 0.25 to 0.35 millimeters. So I'm going to add the lower limit 0.25 millimeters. Then the distance from this line up to this line is 1 millimeter. If you see the drawing carefully, there is a V shape cut here, and the depth of the groove is from 0.20 to 0.30 millimeters. So and we have the distance which starts from the depth of that groove up to this line. So right now I'm going to add the total distance from here up to this line, and it should be 9 millimeters, sum of both these dimensions. So type here 9 millimeters. Then we will add this distance, the distance from this line up to this point, and it has the lower value of 3.50 millimeters. And our sketch is once again fully defined, so going to features tab, and from there I'm going to use the extruded cut command. Now press OK button. Next step is that I'm going to add the V-shaped groove here. So click on this face and then sketch on it, then draw a sketch by using line command, something like this. Draw a center line like this. Now define the angle between this line, and it is 70 degree. Rearranging the sketch, then define the angle between both these lines, and it is 50 degree. Depth of this groove is I'm adding lower limit, so 0.20 millimeters. Distance from here up to this point 3.50 millimeters. Our sketch is once again fully defined. Going to features tab and then apply the extruded cut command, and then press OK. So this is also done. Now next step is that I'm going to add some holes here. So first of all I'm going to add the hexagonal hole. So sketch on this face, press Ctrl+8 key for normal to view orientation, and then draw this polygon. Type here 6 sides, number of sides, and then draw a sketch somewhere like this. Now if you can see this detail, there are two limits, so I'm going to add the lower limit distance, and it is 3.10 millimeters. Then the distance from this point up to the center of this hole, and it is 4 millimeters. Distance from here up to the center of this arc is also not mentioned in the drawing, so we have to subtract both these values, and for that 5.80 minus 2.8. Then select this line and make it vertical. Our sketch is now fully defined. Now go to features tab, and from there use extruded cut command. Then we have 3 holes, and all those 3 holes have the diameter of 2.65 millimeters. I'm going to apply the lower limit. So sketch on this face, draw 3 circles, 1, 2 and 3. Select the center point of this circle and this circle, and then make them vertical. After that select all these 3 circles and make them equal. Define the diameter of any one circle, 2.65 millimeters. Then the distance from here up to the center point of this circle is 5.80. From the center point of this circle up to center point of this circle, the distance is 9.5 millimeters. From this line, so you can select this point up to the center of this circle, the distance is 7.35 millimeters. From this point up to the center point of this circle, the distance is 4 millimeters. From the center point of this circle up to the center point of this circle, the distance is 12 millimeters. Our sketch is once again fully defined, so going to features tab and then apply extruded cut command. Now adding the fillet of radius 1 here and here. Press OK button. So this fillet radius is also not mentioned anywhere, and I think it is 1 millimeter. Now the last portion of this drawing is to making or designing this groove in our part, which is, I think, very difficult for the beginners, this groove. So it is basically not very difficult. We have to apply some trick here to create this groove. First of all, what should we do? We have to make a sketch here. So select this face and then sketch on it. Press Ctrl plus 8 key for normal to view orientation. First of all, we have to draw a line which should be in the center of this groove. So assume that this line is in the center of this groove, somewhere here. Select this line and this line and make them parallel. The distance from this point up to this point is also 4 millimeters, like this. Then it is a common sense that this point is somewhere in the mid of this portion. So select this point and the midpoint of this line and make them horizontally aligned. After that, it is also a common sense that this line lies in the mid of this portion. So for that, select the center line and start drawing it from here up to this line and up to this line. Select both these lines. First of all, make the collinear relation between them and then the equal relation. Next thing is a bit tricky. Let me show you in the drawing. See here, we have given the distance from the center point of this circle up to the edge of this groove, and it is 2.20, but we have to add 1 millimeter in this value because we are drawing the line which is in the center of this groove. So going to SolidWorks once again, and then add the dimension between this line and the center point of this circle, and as mentioned here 2.20, but we are going to add 1 millimeter, so to 3.20 millimeters. Our sketch is almost fully defined, but we have to make a distance between both these points, and it should be 0.50 millimeters. Now press this button to save and exit from sketch mode. If you can see the manufactured part here, it seems like something is punched in this part, and which is why this groove is formed. So we are going to use the exactly same process or same technique here, and for that what should I do? First of all, save this part in your PC as it is. I'm naming it sheet metal, and now what is the next? Close this part, minimize SolidWorks, minimize everything, and then the place where you have saved, I have saved this part in the desktop here. Now copy this part from here and then go to some other place in your PC and then paste it there, and then rename it or change the name from the original one. So sheet forming, then open it, sheet forming. Now what is the next step? Next step is that we have to delete both these flanges and also this flange. So I'm going to delete the sketch band 1. As you can see, I have deleted this flange and all these 3 holes along with that sketch also vanished. because let me first of all press Ctrl plus Z for undo. Why this happens? Because we have made a sketch, a distance relation between the center point of this circle with this point, which is why this all these things have vanished. So what should we do? Click on this cut extrude 4 and then select edit sketch. Delete this distance relation, then add the distance from here up to here. Whatever the answer is, just press OK button. Then press this button to save and exit from sketch mode. Now if you delete this flange, then nothing will be vanished. So once again I am going to delete this flange also. If you can see here, the color is yellow for this sketch, so click on it and then edit the sketch. Select this yellow point here and then right click, then delete all. Then add the distance from this point up to this line. Whatever the answer, press OK button. Then select this point and the center point or midpoint of this line, make them horizontally aligned. Now our sketch is fully defined. So press this button to save and exit from sketch mode. Now next step is that we have to make a forming tool out of this part. So for that, first of all click on this sketch and then edit it. After that go to features tab and from there use extruded boss base command, and then automatically SolidWorks has turned on the thin feature here. So drop down this option and from there select mid plane, and total width 2 millimeters and total height is 0.5 millimeters. Look closely, in the thin feature you have to write 2 millimeters, which means that this distance is 2 millimeter, and the length or in the direction 1 length is 0.5 millimeters, which means the height, which is 0.5 millimeters. Then press OK button. Now next step is that we have to add a fillet here. So the fillet radius is 1 millimeter. Click on the fillet command in the features tab, then type here 1 millimeter fillet radius and then select this face and then press OK button. So almost done. We just have to select the forming tool in the sheet metal. So go to sheet metal tab and from there select forming tool option, and for the stopping phase select this phase and then press OK button. So our forming tool is now created. We have to save it, so click on this arrow and then select save as. Okay, and then go to my PC, then C drive, and then program data, then SolidWorks, and then SolidWorks 2020, and here in the design library, then forming tools, paste it or save it here. If you could not found all these folders in your PC, then you should know, if you click here and then forming tools, select any one, then right click in on any one forming tool and then open it, then simply select save as, and it will take you the exact to that folder where you should save the new forming tools. So I hope you are understanding what I am trying to say. Okay, now we have done the forming tool as well. Now close it, then open the original part, which is here. Now click on this sketch and then hide it. After that, if you can see in the main picture the direction of the groove on this side. So click on design library here, and first of all you have to drop down the design library, then go to forming tool, and here you have saved that forming tool. Now click and drag this tool up to this part, Now if you can see the preview has been generated, so we have to rotate it for 180 degree, and then click on positions tab, press escape key for only one time, then press Ctrl plus 8 key for normal 2D orientation, select this line and delete it, and then draw two center lines, one from here up to the end of the part, another center line from here up to the end of the part. Then select this point and the center point of this line, make them horizontally aligned. Similarly, select the center point of the forming tool and the center point of the of this line and make them vertically aligned. So our forming tool is perfectly aligned with our part. Now simply press OK button to continue. So we have done this. So this is how we can make this type of part, sheet metal part in SolidWorks. I hope you have enjoyed and learned from this video. Thanks for watching and sparing time. Don't forget to subscribe this YouTube channel for more videos like this.